An invitation extended to the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Griffith, by Member of Parliament for Tewarie Central Constituency, Dr. Bhoe Tewarie, produced an official meeting with the constituents of Tewarie Central and Mr. Griffith. This meeting took place at Dr. Tewarie's parliamentary office at Mission Road, Freeport on the 9th of April 2019. The purpose of the meeting was to facilitate the constituents' pending concerns arising out of various criminal activities that have been plaguing the community for quite some time. Some of these criminal activities included home invasions, robberies, predial larceny, land grabbing, lack of response from police, and much more.
I think all of us can say by now that we have a serious Commissioner of Police. You can see it by the way he talks, you can see it by the way he acts, you can see it by the way he goes out into the field, you can see it by the way he is a no-nonsense person who does not suffer fools gladly.
Good afternoon, Tewarie Central. I will speak in Tewarie Central broadly. This constituency, this is the second constituency that I have been visiting. I met Dr. Munilal's constituency just about last week. And the reason, welcome Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Dulal Chan. How are you, sir? I will say I will not be here, I will not speak long. I want to really hear more from you all. And that is the reason why it is we are having this. I was shocked that this has never been done before, where a Commissioner of Police will come to the constituencies, come to the members of Parliament. It is very difficult, if not impossible, or impractical, for the Tobago Police Service to assist you with your most fundamental right if we do not actually come to your doorstep. You come into my office, a member of Parliament come into my office, can do very little in comparison to me actually being here to hear what you have to say. And every single constituency will be a different threat, will be a different concern, will be a different need. And that's why I need to go to each constituency to be able to pinpoint exactly what are your needs, what are your concerns. Yes, we have data, yes, we have statistics, but hearing from the persons on the ground, it means a lot towards me being able to ascertain how I can utilize the resources that I have in an effective and efficient manner. I could speak a lot about what we intend to do with the police service, where we are going. Yes, there's been a 13% decrease in homicides in the first quarter of this year in comparison to last year. But let's deal specifically with this area. Mr. Sipasad, and I wish to thank yourself, Mr. Smith, and the other senior members and all members of the Tobago Police Service. This service is exactly what it is, a service. I heard Dr. Tewarie spoke about the police force. There's a reason why we are not a police force, and there's a reason why we are known as the police service, because we are here to serve. We understand fully that we are the employees, and you are our employers, you are our bosses. I'm pushing heavily for police officers to all understand that, and you'll start seeing the change in how it is we speak to the public, how we interact with them, the type of public relations, the customer service training that we are pushing heavily, and you're seeing it. As it pertains to policing, there's a total transformation we are doing in the Tobago Police Service in our operational procedure, intelligence gathering, the restructuring of the Tobago Police Service. It is going to play a very big part towards the Tobago Police Service being seen as the finest police service in the Caribbean. We are in that right direction. There are many things we are doing. As I said, I can speak about the statistics, but more so in central area. The catalyst towards where people measure crime is homicide. Central, at the same time last year, it was at the top of the ceiling. It was 31, I think 31 homicides. The same time this year, it's been a 50% reduction in homicide. One homicide is still one too many. But I think it's 16 homicides in comparison to 31 last year. The central area division has proven to be the most effective in dealing and combating with serious crime in comparison to all of the other divisions in Trinidad and Tobago. And it has a big part to play with the officers. Well done. Having said that, I'm fully aware that we have a long way to go. But in a country where for the last 10 years, bar the 1 year where there was a state of emergency, the homicide rate has been over 400 per annum. It is impractical to expect that with the change in the batting lineup, it will just reach back to less than 200 or 100. This is not cricket. You can change the head of the West Indies cricket board and he'll pick 11 new players and then you can get a different change in results. It's not going to happen with law enforcement and when it comes to crime reduction. Yes, there's been a change in leadership, but there's a change in the mindset that is more important. In Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we are pushing heavily to work hand in hand with you all. And that's why what we are doing these things now. Meeting with you all, working with you all hand in hand. And what we are asking you all is just to give us that opportunity, give us that degree of support, and we will do what is required to provide you with your most fundamental right, which is that of safety and security. We are providing that degree of hope, and that hope, we intend not to let you down. Give us that chance. We will not be perfect. We are going to make mistakes. No police service in the world is perfect. But you can't see it when something happens with one police officer, you're just going to label the whole police service with a broad brush. The fact of the matter is the more police officers that are now being held and made accountable based on their shortcomings, it shows that we are very transparent now. We are making persons accountable and making it known that there are consequences. But by doing that, don't condemn us. Show that, let it be seen that we are doing what is required and we are weeding out the rogue elements. And likewise, we intend to look at each and every police officer for them to be the best that they can be. And we are here to serve you. We are here to do what is required. Police officers, they go out every single day. And the easiest thing to do is to criticize or condemn. But when you have, if anyone here who has family members as a police officer, every morning they go out and they are willing to take a bullet for a stranger. They are willing to give their life for someone who they may not know. That I see, and maybe I'm biased, but it is the most noble of all professions, where you're willing to give your most prized asset for a stranger, which is your life. And with that, it is good now that the public is starting to buy into us, support us, give us that recognition. For Carnival this year, it was rated as the safest carnival this country has ever seen. We are in the right direction. I give you the assurance as I close that this Commissioner of Police, I will ensure that I have a chain of command. My God, my country, and my people. And there's nothing that I will do that will compromise that. I cannot be influenced in any form or fashion, in any direction, other than what is good. I intend to do what is required to ensure that good would overcome evil in this country. But I do need your support, I do need your guidance, and I do need your trust. With that, I open the floor. Because as I said, this is not about me, it's about hearing you and hearing what are your needs, what are your concerns, what are your recommendations, so that I can be able to utilize the resources that we have to make the central division even better than it is right now. I know one of the main things you will get here is about FULs. That is something I am also dealing with, I'm fully aware of it. So let me clear that question earlier, Claude. I might cut half of the questions. The law states that persons have a right to apply for firearms. What has happened in the past, I apologize for it, it is unfortunate. There have been 14,000 persons who have been waiting. It is your right to apply for a firearm. No Commissioner of Police has a right to state, well, I do not think so many people should have firearms. If persons have a concern about it, well, then you write to your member of parliament to amend the law. I have to work to the law. The law stipulates that if it is that you apply and you have the criteria, I am obligated to provide you with a firearm, which is what I am doing, as quickly as possible. There's been about 800 persons that we have dealt with in the last few months, which is probably more than the last several years. So I'm doing it as quickly as possible. What I ask is those persons, when you have it, it is not a toy. It is enormous responsibility that is given to you. You have to treat it carefully. Persons have FUS, they've never even gone on a range in years. You need to ensure that you train properly, you use it properly, and you use it for what is required, which is to protect you and your loved ones and your assets. With that, I will now, should I open the floor? Yeah, open the floor. So as much as possible, I want to get information from you. I may not be able to answer everything, but I will be able to take a database of all the questions, all the points for us to make sure that this can be a much safer constituency. Thank you.
I have some concerns about carrying the Brasso police station. Why is it so often you will change the officers? Every 3-4 months you change officers, and the people are getting fed up with that. Because when they go to Brasso police station, the officers change. The officers change. You have to take time to get back to know the people and and then it moves again. So I appeal to you to make sure that when you send an officer to Brazil, he or she stays as long as is required. By doing so, you get a more peaceful community in the park. The next point is, why is it that you have your police officers patrolling jeeps, police jeep, air conditioned on the highway?
Sorry, you have something else?
Several more.
7 more?
3 more, that's all. Basic corner shabonas on Sunday mornings and public holidays. It's play with PH cars, you can't hardly pass. There's no police surveillance on that road on basic corner shabonas on Saturday and public holidays. Why do jeeps pass speeding with their lights on unnecessarily? Sometimes they go just to rush in time to play a load. Thank you.
Okay. Alright, let me just deal with a couple. You could do it pretty honestly. And you could with the grass. So now sometimes with the change of police officers, remember, at times police officers based on courses, based on the fact that they may go into retirement, some of them will hold acting ranks. Somebody might hold an acting rank, and then when they get promoted, they need to move because it helps them in their upward mobility. So there will be situations. If there's any more, I will ask you to discuss it. As it pertains to patrols, I understand your point and you're quite right. However, the concept of highway patrol is to patrol the highway. So they are in the vehicles. You remember some of the older ones, remember the TBCB chips? That's what they do. They put the California Highway Patrol. So the highway patrol, the concept of it is to patrol the highway. That's why they stay in their vehicles. Likewise, now I have formed the Emergency Response Patrol. 85 vehicles strategically placed in specific areas of responsibility. So in Central Division, for example, there are 9 vehicles. These 9 vehicles must stay in the Central Division. They cannot leave. We monitor them on our GPS tracking, so we can see where they are. We have an operational command center, so we are using technology now to ensure the police actually operate. So if there's a 999 call, that is also being revamped in a few months. Your call will be answered in seconds instead of half an hour, or you hear an answered machine. That is fed to an operational command center. From that operational command center, we can see where the call is. And the same patrols you spoke about, that's the reason why they're out there. They are patrolling strategically placed. So in other words, think of Central. Think of the Central Division. 9 vehicles patrolling constantly, and we will monitor them. So if 2 vehicles decide to patrol in close proximity to each other, we'll say ERP vehicle 6 and 9, spread out. You go more left, you go more right. So with a blanket, think of 9 vehicles spread equally. If at any time in Central now there's a 999 call, you can actually get a response within minutes or even seconds. And that is what we want. We want a rapid response, we want a high visibility, we want a heavy deterrent. So there's a reason why these vehicles patrol there. Having said that, I know your point and you're correct. The police service, for too long, we have spent all our time either in the police stations or in vehicles. When I signed a memorandum of understanding with the New York Police Department, the NYPD, and they have changed into what you're speaking about. More police officers must start getting back on their feet in patrols, walking the ground, but they can't do it. So the highway patrol must stay in the vehicles. That's what they're there. They're to patrol the highways. We are changing it now where I want police officers on the beat, on the ground, walking. That is how you get intelligence. That's how you get to be more familiar with the citizens, and you have more of that. So that is where the transformation of the police service will involve much more of police officers walking along the streets rather than just flying past you. And putting it to your point with the concern about the speeding, we have GPS now. Through the GPS, we can know every single police vehicle, the speed that they were going at. I think it was right here when the 2 vehicles crashed in the truck. Could appear. Recently, you would have heard a truck came out, 2 police vehicles virtually written off. Now, initially, you would have thought that the truck was wrong because they came from a minor road onto a major road. But guess what? Through the GPS tracking, we found out that those 2 police vehicles were going at 147 kilometers an hour on a main road. They were racing. And we have the track to realize that they were not going to a distress call. They are now going to be culpable. So now we have checks and balances to measure their performance, make them accountable, and there would be consequences. So I give you the promise that when you see a vehicle speeding, we can now pinpoint and pull them up and say, why are you going at that speed? Because we never sent you on a distress call. So if you see a vehicle speeding, let us not automatically think that they're going to grocery or to pay a loan or whatever. Because I ask you to understand that when they're doing this now, it is based on it's a 999 call when they're responding to, right? So by doing that now, and if it is that there's a distress call or they're in hot pursuit of a criminal element. Other than that, we can now monitor them. And it is not just the speed. If there's a heavy traffic congestion in, say, Chaguanas at a certain time, and we could see the vehicle going 40 kilometers an hour, you can't go 40 kilometers an hour coming from Port of Spain to Chaguanas at 4:30 in the afternoon. We know that you're on the shoulder. Why are you on the shoulder? So yes, we have put in systems to take away the frustration that the public will have. If every time you see a vehicle, you automatically feel that they are abusing their authority. That is changing. I'll ask Mr. Dulalchan and Mr. Tipasat to explain more about the situation with the predial larceny and with the brass or any other matter.
Mr. Ramuta, I want to support you with your observation with respect to Busy Corner. In fact, over the last 2 weeks, I suggested the senior soon that I will bring him out at Busy Corner to see what is taking place, and I gave him instructions. In fact, I told him that if he does not have police there, and I give him time and I tell him how we can get police there, and I trust that things are in fact happening. But just to indicate, with respect to predial larceny, I have given instructions to all police officers that no longer reports of predial larceny. We must be telling the farmers to go to the predial larceny squad. We are duty bound to treat all reports pertaining to predial larceny. Yes, because of the terrain and what have you and so on, it might be difficult for us to police farmland as to how we police the streets, business communities, housing developments and so on. But in terms of reports, we are duty bound to take those reports and to investigate those reports. All right, and just to go back with respect to the highway patrol, what we have done, we started a partner project where we now have from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening, 1 police officer in a police vehicle on the highway, and that is so that we can get much more vehicles on the highway and a bigger police presence. All right, so that could be one of the reasons why you may probably see the vehicles that may park up with 1 officer. But from a general standpoint, we all travel along the highway, and we do see our police officers outside because they deal and they interact with people, okay?
I am the acting senior superintendent in charge of the Central Division as from the 1st of December. First of all, I'm most surprised at some of your comment, but I'll come back to that. In terms of job rotation in Bhoe, job rotation is an integral part of management. If we have any student of management, it's an integral part in terms of rotating different individuals in different aspects of the job. So at the end of, let's say, 6 or 7 months, they are well trained and they have experience in the various aspects of the job. That added to what my little commissioner had said in terms of acting, promotion, and otherwise. Having said that, you will realize that transfers is a part of the police service. And where we need your services and your experiences, we capitalize on that aspect. In terms of the highway, to add further to Mr. Dulalchan, there are specific functions when you see an officer in a vehicle in the highway. There are static duty, there are foot patrol, there are speed duty. But if you take some time, you will be able to identify each one of these functions. Given time. With respect to the static at Bizicon, it's a pity because I am sure in any given day, there's over 15 police officers in Chaguanas Main Road. Yeah. And listen, Mr. Smith, ASP Smith is here. I have given him specific instruction, and Mr. Smith, you could tell him the static and the reason and the logic behind it after Mr. Donald's instruction, right? Because the logic behind it is from KFC to the upper to busy corner. There's little or no police presence, and there's a lot of activity in terms of the Port of Spain stand, right? So there is, and the timing of that patrol is between 7 and 11. All right. Added to that, the access roads in terms of the Peter Lassini, I wouldn't like to comment on that, but to patrol the area, you must have accessibility to certain areas, and some of the areas is not the best where I will advise police vehicle to venture. Okay? And the comment you made about the lotto is unfair. No, if you can see a vehicle speeding, how you can see him stop it, you have to be speeding too.
Sometimes. Just a minute. See, Pastor, whilst I understand the rationale for the transfer, I think it's important, and I understand what Mr. Ramuta is saying, because of the stakeholder engagement we are in fact having now with the communities. I think it's important that when you're making transfers, that transfer must be a handover, and the handover is not only the station property, but the handover is when the persons are to be relieved, they must go out and introduce to members of the community, look, this is your new sergeant, and so that, and I think that is where the disconnect lies, and it's something that we will impress upon to fix, because it's a problem we have all over. All right? So we note it and we want to fix it.
Commissioner Griffith, congratulations on transforming the police service, because I think we need a strong independent institutions in order to get strong independent nation. Having said that, I'm an executive of National Helicopter. We are based in this area. We provide services to you. Extending an invitation to you to National Helicopter. We need to talk. Thanks very much.
In the transformation of the Trans-Tobago Police Service, what I'm also looking at is to improve our air division. The use of that technology has played a very big part towards us in many operations. But we intend to increase it with the use of proper drones and choppers, and also even the concept of what may be seen as a marine branch in Trans-Tobago Police Service. I am not the Trans-Tobago Coast Guard; they have their role and function, but because of the Southwestern Peninsula, I am looking at the requirements for us to also look into the concept of having certain vessels that can assist us in even not just between the mainland and Trinidad and Tobago and the Southwestern Peninsula, but the swamp, the tributaries, the rivers that many persons have used as an avenue towards their illegal activities. So we are looking at Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is not a land force. We are here to do policing, and policing also involves proper policing in the air, sea, and land.
Good evening, Mr. Gary. On behalf of the youth, we would like to thank you for all your hard work. But I'm very disappointed in Freeport Police Station. So I live 4 minutes away from the station. So I live 4 minutes away from the station, which is Bukar Road. At 11:05, drunk driver ran into my wall. I called the station 11:34, 6M30026. We spoke 55 seconds. Right, male officer answered, and I still looking for the call, the car, anybody to come, nobody responds. So I still waiting for the police to come. Friday night.
Friday night, what time?
11:24 p.m. And I have the number and the pictures. So I still waiting for the officers, right?
And again, if I could clarify, to what we are doing to transform that. That's old-time policing, really and truly. Not you, not your fault. You're calling a police station for a police station to respond. What in the morning, the concept of the transformation of the police service, you're not supposed to find a number for a police station. What happens? 999 is the only number you're supposed to know. 999. You call 999, it is locked in. 999 is now fed to an operational command center where we have. And then from that 999 call, regardless of where you are in the country, we will now see where your call is. And now we will send the vehicle in closest proximity to you. Calling a police station to hear police officers, you might not answer, they might not answer the phone. In fairness to them, they may not have a vehicle, they may not have a driver, and we've heard these things for years gone by. So we are taking it away from the police stations. You would have heard my comment a few weeks ago when I stated we have 77 police stations in Trinidad and Tobago. Now that is, me being a politician once, I could say politicians, we love to build police stations. Because every time you build a police station, you can cut a ribbon. But let me explain the concept. People who have gone to Miami, how often have you seen a police station? When you go to New York City, how often have you seen it? When you go to London, how often have you seen it? Now the concept is less police stations mean more police officers out in the streets. I have 77 police stations. Guess what? Out of my 7,000 police officers, I have to use 2,300 police officers to man a police station. So I have to use 1/3 of my police force to guard themselves, where they could be out there doing policing. So the concept I intend to do is to reduce the number of police stations. It may not be pleasant for many persons that go into another place because but the public needs to understand my concept of this. All you need to do is to call 999. You call 999, we respond. It is delivery service. There's little need that you should have to go to a police station if there's a proper 999. Likewise, the police officers, we are also what we are putting in police service is online reporting. Because I work closely now with London Metropolitan Police, NYPD, and other police departments worldwide, it's likewise. In London Metropolitan Police, people don't go to a station. They call the equivalent to 999, or somebody stole your mangoes, somebody stole something, you don't want to call 999, you do online reporting. So in the next few months, we are having that as well. You type a matter, it will now be fed, and now it will go to the fraud department, cybercrime, domestic violence. So it ensures a degree of confidentiality, but it also makes sure it is streamlined to the relevant department towards, because you might have a matter with fraud, but you go to a police station, but you need the experts in the fraud department to deal with it. So the online reporting or the 999 will eliminate the need for you to have to go to a police station. Less police stations, less police officers in police stations mean more police officers out in the street to do their job.
Good evening. All protocols observed. Prayer lassie is being done by people in the village most of the time. Most of the time is because they're looking, they know when that is time to reap. And it hurts my heart because most of us here grew up with our parents, sending us to school, universities, and it because of that. So when you look at a man, time his crop, and he waiting to reap his crop, then this clump one and thief the man. It hurt. I see that recently, and it really hurt my heart. I have been asking, I asked in the meeting there that when you go to all these clubs and I have never seen so much rum shop and open in this area like in the last 5-6 years. And every shop that you go into, you're seeing this gambling machines. And these what these fellas doing. They go into the gambling machine, and when they finish or they lost money, they go back, they go on the thief, and they come back again. We need, as soon as you walk in there, you're seeing 3 gamble machine. The Chinese are very prominent with this. You go from St. Mary's here, you go straight up the road, and you look at these people, poor people, and them fellas just putting in their money there and losing their money. And that's how the crime is developing in the communities. And any working day, you go to the My Buying Arena there, Tomba. You've seen so much of young fella just sit down behind these slot machines and all these kind of things. We need to get rid of all these things. We need to get rid of this open any day, any time. I was in London recently, as you said. I'll be looking for a drink 11 o'clock in the night and everything dry. Right? My officers had to run for a bus head. They built up a bar up the road. When they're supposed to be seen about something as more important, they had to go by a bar, they had to have disturbances. Close that bar by 12 o'clock. You could take this to Parliament. Right? Not you, the commissioner. Oh, yes, you, not he. What do you think the mayor of New York did to clean up Giuliani? He went to these people who are the politicians and tell them, this is what I want. I want all them dilapidated buildings where everybody go and drink and smoke the coke. I want all that to move off. And that's how he started. He went and asked for legislation to pass so that he and the officers could go. So you could go to them and tell them, look, this is what I want. I want the bar and them to close by midnight. By midnight, the bars and them must close. So my officer, who want to sell after midnight, let them have double doors so that when a man coming out now, one door closed. I see that in Guyana. You know Guyana more ahead of me? And people just laugh about Guyana. They have 2 doors coming on the bar. So when they hear, you hear bang, 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 and all them bars, they're next door to each other. People living here, a pundit right over the road, a imam right next door, and them hearing all this, and all this is crime, you know. Not because they shooting in Lavandel and all that kind of thing. That is crime, you know. Crime is all them things going on here. People have no respect for nobody. Peanut people who all they coming outside with their beer bottle and stand up and play and set up music. You close the bar at 12 o'clock. A man want to sell, let him have his security. Don't have my police officers go in there. They put 5 security. That's part of his license. He must have 5 security. He must have a double door, so when he open here, you hear no noise outside. You open next door and he go on. Nobody drinking outside. You can't walk out in the bar with no alcohol. And they stand up and they play music and all that thing. This is where we have to start. This is what we call meaningful change. Right? So all this thing about online, this. Policing is about seeing the people, the police. Your most visibility, that is one thing that never, you could bring how much computer you want, and how much this and that, but the visibility, that will never leave the police service. And what do you think make these good detectives long time? Shogunas, you walk up Shogunas main road, there's only bandit and vagrant you see. It's any night. You have a decon, the detective long time. They walk in and they talk in and so they get in information. That is where they do plainclothes police officers. You hardly see plainclothes, everybody in uniform. You had your plainclothes officers and them out there gathering information. I think this do it a long time. This are the CID front office. Remember that? I'm Mr. Clonachel. And these fellas gathering all the information. But anyway, I just say we want to stay too long. I want to congratulate you on your elevation, and we have taken a fresh, deep breath. All of us are waiting to exhale now with your performance. Thank you very much.
All protocols observed. Commissioner, I just want to touch on 2 topics. One is that how it is the smallest child in a village can tell you where the block is, where the drug block is, where the piper go on a daily basis. How come the police don't know? In a daily basis, you see them every day walking down the road, going to get the drugs. You know who they are. We all know who they are. We live in the village. But how come the police themselves don't know where the drug, the hole is or whatever, you know? It's a question that to ask yourself, is these police really doing their job where these drug blocks is concerned? That's one. Secondly, I live in the Calcutta area, just in the vicinity of the tunnel, which you should know where courts is. I know you all set up strategic points of cameras along the roadway and whatnot. I humbly ask if a camera can be set up in that vicinity by the tunnel. Hence the reason it's a highly populated village and business area. And just recently, which is last week, my neighbor was robbed, who is a permanent attorney, and the family tied up and whatnot. So since they opened that road over there, where courts is located, it become an easy accessible getaway area. And even though I mentioned previous meetings that the policing meetings that if we can get more lighting, the lighting there is very dim, which is one. Secondly, the cameras will help a lot because the bandits are using that area now as a getaway point. Thank you.
Yeah, just going back to the 2 points. The first point we spoke about pertaining to situation with bars and so forth. But again, you speak about London and online. But if it is that you're concerned about loud music, you will call 999 or you will do online reporting. So to disregard and say, forget about all that. Without, if it is that you don't have the opportunity to submit the report, yes, it is that the police could patrol. The concept of what it is you said, however, it is, I have been bombarded with similar reports, with bars and the music being played. It has frustrated many persons. Mr. Dulaljan has assisted with what we're trying to get is the type of equipment. So instead of having to liaise with the EMA, we can actually liaise, we'll have our own equipment so that we can actually measure and be able to know that, listen, you need to shut down. It is something I actually did for Carnival Tuesday night. In Carnival Tuesday night, at Peter Avenue, 50,000 persons, music was blasting, gangs started coming down, bottles were prepared to be thrown, and I made a judgment call. And who told me to do that? People started complaining, I wanted to drink, I need to wine, I need to have a last lap. And the main thing about the concern that the whole of Arapita Avenue was shut down, it caused miles of traffic because nothing could have passed, not even a bicycle. 50,000 persons there. The music was acting as an emotional enhancer for persons to start. One person was actually cut. Others, bottles started being thrown. So I had to make a judgment call, and I had no regrets for what it is I did. Going back to that, so because I am aware of your concern pertaining to the certain bars and the nightclubs and so forth, and because of the type of equipment that we would have now, it will assist the police greatly in dealing with it, because I get many calls, many reports come to me about music blasting and persons cannot sleep. And that obviously has to be something that has to be addressed. Dealing with the other matter pertaining to the drug blocks, I was hoping somebody would have brought this up, because we keep saying that. It's something I heard even before, that listen, everybody knows where the drug blocks are, everybody knows who the criminals are. But then I said, okay, if it is you know, and you do, obviously there's a concern of trust, I said, well, okay, send it directly to me. How many people here have WhatsApp? Because if it is you know, if you know, so have you WhatsApp 482 Gary to let me know the name of the person, where it is. You see, the easiest thing to do is for everybody to say the smallest child knows. But then if it is the smallest child knows, everybody here is bigger than a small child, then each person here, because it means that everybody knows, then everybody text WhatsApp 482-4279 and say, Commissioner, Mr. John, who's at the corner of so-and-so and so-and-so is selling drugs now. How many? So it is the easiest thing to always say is that everybody knows except the police. But then now you have the opportunity. Have you done so? And I can tell you, with the 482 Gary, 85% of the messages I get is, I want a FUL. I had 9 mangoes in my yard. When I got up this morning, I had 7. I had a report of somebody's actually sent 4:30 in the morning, sir, I need you to deal with it. I have the fowl in my neighbor's yard making noise 4:30 in the morning. That's the kind of reports I get. I am still waiting for this great point that you use, that everybody in the country knows who the drug dealers are, where the drug blocks are. Well, then tell me. Now you have the opportunity. The talk is cheap. I can't work on talk. So now that you just bring that child that you just said, where is he or she? Let me know. Because now there's no longer the concern of saying, well, everybody knows where the drugs are, but we're afraid of it. This is my private phone, 482 Gary, send it to me. I will see it, I will read it, and I will act on it. But I'm not getting it. So the children that you say, the smallest child that knows, please have that child see me and WhatsApp me, please. Because I'm still waiting on the message. All right, yeah, sorry about that. Let me do it quickly because I was trying to get as many people. This thing with illegal gambling, and let me be very blunt. You know, many times if there's one or two homicides in a country, that will hurt a country. But if someone steals 25 billion, that could destroy a country. And the reason I'm linking that with illegal gambling, the reports that I have is illegal gambling has now contributed to over $3 billion per annum being lost. That should have been used towards the taxpayers. They use the front for illegal gambling through the NLCB, the Playway. And then you have the other avenue. And then when I started checking, you have so many of these Chinese restaurants, and I checked how much soup kai fan could we really eat? And the fact of the matter is that many of these so-called restaurants is being used as a front for illegal gambling. I'll give you the assurance again, but it goes back, you mentioned Mayor Giuliani, he's a politician. The commissioners who I met with under Giuliani, Bill Bratton, Bernard Kerrick, and they did not have they cannot change laws. They could only enforce the laws. So what my job is, but I understand your point and I agree with you, I need to speak and send a hint to the relevant, to the 41 members of parliament to ask them to assist me. It has to do likewise with illegal firearms. Every time we hold someone with an illegal firearm and he goes to court and $5,000 he's out on bail, I mean, you're killing us. Those persons, when we hold them, they should throw away the key. That individual who we hold with an illegal firearm, he goes back out, he will now go to try to commit a crime to assist in paying his legal fees, or actually to put a hit on the individual who sold him out. But so again, this is where I need the support in Parliament to ensure that persons who have illegal firearms, it can be, some persons you get fined several times more for a simple matter in comparison to having possession of an illegal firearm means that you have authority, you have the power to kill about 13 people. That is how powerful, that is how critical it is. And this way it is hoped that in Parliament, you can't have a law that someone is held with an illegal firearm and a couple of $1,000 he's out on bail. So those things I do have to deal with. What was the last point that you asked me about? That you mentioned? The machines, yeah. So sorry, yeah. So going back to the machines, we go to one of those places, we hold them, I think it's about $400, next to nothing if it is for illegal gambling. It affects us.
So is the machine illegal?
No. You have registered NLCB, but then the same places will have illegal gambling. So you have the 24-to-1, which is the authorized, and then you have the 34-to-1.
No, we're talking about there are some machines.
No. Those things are they have their licenses. Yes, they do.
But this is something that we have to talk about.
Understood.
Good day. Good day, everybody. My name is Jessica Singh. I am a representative of Sixth Formers Association Services, an association where we do volunteer work to teach kids throughout the year. This is a question I always ask myself. I'm not sure if anyone else in the room wondered to themselves, what is being done in terms of this. I respect police officers. I understand that they put their lives out every day, and small things they do too is remarkable. Like last week I was walking in Shibonas and this lady fell down, and the first person to help her was a police officer. I thought it was really heartwarming. But I can't help but ask the question, how corrupt police officers, if so to say, my bad, is being dealt with, because I'm certain at least one of us in here must know a police officer that probably holds someone up for weed, and take the weed and pass it to his friend, or things to that effect. Because I've done a lot of volunteer work and I've interacted with small actually amount of police officers, but from the stories they tell outside of their uniform is that I hold somebody up for weed and I pass it to my friend or sell it back. Or I know there was this situation where this police was in the wrong for driving, speeding again, and hit a vehicle, but then paid the man after so that he wouldn't report it to the police station or anything to that effect. Thank you.
Okay, and you would have seen the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service the same way. If someone doesn't like you and he just make a comment or accusation about you, we cannot work on accusations, we can't work on the perception, we can only work on the law, we can only work on evidence. So it is the easiest thing to say is the police is corrupt. But guess what? Over the last 6 months, 2 police officers were actually held for kidnapping an individual. We didn't cover it up. officers, and they crash police vehicles now, you're culpable and you will pay for it. Yesterday, seven police officers were held for involving fraud. So we are cleaning up the police service. What we need to do is for the citizens, if it is that you are aware, you can't to just easily say, well, this police officer took this money. We can't arrest a police officer because of that. We need evidence to just accuse someone because of that. You certainly wouldn't want us to arrest any of you all based on somebody saying, this person stole money. It can't work that way. We have to work on evidence. But as you would have seen, dozens of police officers have been arrested over the last few months. And this should not be seen, as I stated earlier, this should not be seen to discredit the police service, but just the opposite. It shows that we are transparent. We are not covering wrongdoing. There have been 300 police officers that are presently on suspension. I intend to deal with it. Most of them should be back in the service, but the others, I intend to fire them. Because yes, it is that the police service, we come from society. Society is not perfect, definitely, where you will see based on crime taking place in this country. But guess where the police officers come from? Society. So we come from the same society. However, we are expected to be at a higher level and a higher standard. But we will never be the concept of perfection. However, we intend to weed out all rogue elements. We cannot weed out a rogue element based on Ramshop talk that this police officer took money from that person to hide the weed. I can't work on that. If you have something to prove to send to me, and this way again I plead with you. If you trust anyone, trust me. 4824279. I have received hundreds, thousands of messages, hundreds a day. Many of them not relevant, but it has also been instrumental to many situations where it has assisted me and the police service in information being fed. It is then turned to intelligence and then turned to possible evidence that can arrest persons. So you have an opportunity. If you're aware of police officers involved in criminal activity and you feel uncomfortable to go to a station, send the information. We will investigate it through that number because that is coming straight up. You can't get higher than that. It is me. The buck stops with me. I will take it, I will research it, and we will verify whether it is legit or not. But we can't work and we can't arrest, and we will not arrest anyone based on hearsay. Again, as you would have seen over the last few months, any police officer that will abuse their authority through the police complete authority, we are working hand in hand through the Professional Standard Bureau, our PSB. There have been 180 cases just floating. So now you have a concern with a police officer, you can write to the PCA. We are actually meeting with them once every 2 weeks, looking at all of the reports to make sure that it will not just fall flat. So now it is making sure that all police officers, they understand that you are now going to be accountable and culpable for any wrong action that you may commit.
But what we require is a more sustainable approach to it, something long-lasting, which would mean developing synergy between the various agencies, between different ministries. For example, we talk of Praja Larson. Carlsonfield is an area where you have a lot of problems. You have to be living in it to know what it feels like to live there. As I'm living in Carlsonfield. How many people know the difference between, or the function of the Praja Larson? Why can't the Praja Larson division be here today in this meeting? To let us know what role they play. What is the role of the ministry? Is the ministry really, these are land allocated for agricultural purposes. You will see a shop building up there, squatting in an area, you don't know who are the tenants, what is taking place. So many vacant plots that are not being cultivated for the last 30 years. The ministry is not policing anything. You would see agricultural land for scrapyard and junk and all these sort of things. People hide it. I live in an area where the exit out of Carlsonfield and the entrance to Carlsonfield. The electricity comes from Carlsonfield area, stop there. 500 feet, it comes from the Fireburn area, it stopped there. For the last 10 years, they've been asking for a street light right over the bridge. There's a bump, but you're asking for a street light. to link that two areas, and you cannot get it. More than 10 years. That is the entrance, that the main entrance. We need to work with various agencies, various divisions, County Council, Fire Services. What about the Ministry of Education? What about Social Division? I have seen school days, young people, young boys, when they catch alligator in pond, looking for a pond to see if I can get an alligator. You know, and this sort of thing. I want to let you know that I've had experiences with 999 and very good responses. Excellent, top of the line. 1 o'clock one night, boom! Right at the back of me, a car blow up. Call 999. Within a short period of time, both the police and the fire service were there to attend it. They didn't ask my name, they didn't ask anyone. Just give them direction, where to come and look for it, and they were there. So I really want to compliment 999 and your services, both fire and the police, for what they have done. From the MP area, as I said, we need to know what is taking place in the community. What is taking place during school time. See what is taking. And please, wake up these people in the Ministry of Agriculture. You have to go to the office on a special day to meet an officer in the Ministry of Agriculture. And on weekends, there are a lot of illegal activities taking place in you know, the dry season now, mining and so forth. We need to look at all these things. So we said not to be too long. I just want to highlight these few points, and let us develop a sustainable community. Let us develop a community that we can have some safety and security. Thank you very much.
My plea today, we have Sings Doubles. We sell on the Mission Road. Everyone who knows us, we've been selling there for about 32 years. And there was an extension done to the highway, and we were promised at that time by the Minister of Works and Infrastructure at that time, Minister Ramachan, that he would allocate a certain spot for us to sell. Pertaining to the reshuffling of the Freeport police station, we know that these police officers, the heads there would come and go. Well, I understand that there are new people there this time. So again, we are in a situation where we have been told that we have to leave. So, by show of hands, could we just see all the other vendors who are being asked to leave? Want to stand? Now, mind you, okay, thanks. Now, mind you, you can check, these are all law-abiding citizens, no convictions prior. Sir Gary Griffith, we know that you are very busy, but my plea is it possible we could have a meeting after with Mr. Sipasad and of course our MP Bhoe Tewarie to see how we can come to some resolution as to what we can do, because I've even resorted to renting as well, which is off of the particular area that I was promised, and I was told that I still cannot rent because the customers will be using the road. And this is a main concern for me. I mean, we have families here that this is their sole bread that they get from these businesses. We also understand what it is we're dealing with, but again, I'm here pleading and I'm asking that you spare some time to take a look into this situation. Thank you.
Sorry. I just want to indicate that you know, I empathize with your situation.
Yes, sir.
But I just want to say that in policing, we have to try our best to police all the infractions of the law. Whilst you might be law-abiding, the impact. In fact, and I want to make it clear, I give them instructions. Just as how I gave instructions by the issue with the only shop, right? And I trust that they're still probably doing it. I think one really has to look at that situation from the outside. And when you really look at that, possibly at the most crucial time, at the peak time, sometimes you really wonder the lawlessness we are seeing. It is just like somebody going around a corner and parking 15 cars. It is just like somebody having a bar and have no space and vehicles parked on the roadside. The point I want to make here is that if we are called upon to police, we have to police all infractions. In your situation, I understand, I empathize with the situation, but really and truly, right? Maybe you always be so busy actually attending to your customers. I see on the pavement, people park up on the road, people park up on the other side of the road, right? So that is almost 3 lanes, and now you have 2 lanes of traffic have to go up and sit down, and they cannot go. So I'm just saying that it is a situation that you have to look at. In fact, a lot of people have been written, Commissioner would have been asked to what he's doing with all of these people who selling the kiss bread. You check and see where they're selling the kiss bread. Right now, our road network doesn't allow us the kind of flow we will want to have traffic flow, right? And every obstruction, everybody's selling on the roadside, everybody parking on the road, all these things are causing, and it impacts upon road rage. So I trust that whilst it might be a hard decision, it is something that you all seriously have to look at by way of relocating. And yes, rightfully so. Even if you're renting and you have your customers parking on the road, it doesn't really alter the price of cocoa. But I think it's something, whilst I hear you, we empathize, but it's a situation we have all over the place. This country is littered with vending all over. And you give people the opportunity, they're going in the middle of an event. We see it every day. It's a sad situation, but that area, it really, and the people who live in Mission Road and so on, they will tell you, it's really something that we have to deal with. I know we may probably have to deal with it with a soft heart, but I think in the interim, you all will probably have to find some place to relocate.
Excuse, just to interject, sir, but on that forum, if it is that we were promised the particular area that myself and 2 other vendors, because I mean, with all respect, sir, 32 years is not 32 days. Now we understand that other people would come as well, but my question is then, what is being done for what was said at that time, and now where we at?
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to have difference of opinion or confrontational conversation at the head table, okay? But this is a matter that needs to be resolved, and I would like to see the vendors facilitated to ply their trade, especially since they have been established there for a long time. I understand the traffic problem because I pass there every day to come to work and to go back home. As the Assistant Commissioner indicated, there are 2 sides of the road that are occupied by vendors. I think an easy and reasonable solution is that if we would insist that the vending take place on one side of the road, and we then proceed to manage the place in such a way that you have a lay-by or parking spots which we can create for the cars that come there. I don't think it has to be an all or nothing solution. And if the Commissioner of Police is willing to work on a solution, I would be prepared to work either with the Minister of Works or the regional corporation to make it possible. but I think a solution is possible.
Good afternoon to everyone, Commissioner, Mr. Fulancha, Member of Parliament, CSP Smith, and I have three short things I would like to look at to address. I'm John Nizama, by the way, Councillor for Kaparo Mamran. The area that I cover in terms of local government is from Ravinsab at the north to Tabakit at the south. In those areas, there were two youth clubs, the Brasso and the Grand Couva youth clubs. These youth clubs were providing a proper service to youth, and these areas are basically rural areas. So, by the police getting involved with it, it did help us doing something to help the youth in terms of getting off the street. Like somebody mentioned a while ago that everybody knows drugs are. I could tell you that Brasso area is a haven for illegal drugs. Well, I will talk to you after that, but I could tell you it's a haven for illegal drugs. And I look at now, and I see a reduction in terms of the numbers that with the police youth clubs. And I would like if the police could look back at that and take a more active part in bringing back these youth clubs. I'm willing to help in anything that will take those youths out of the situation then. Another thing I'd like you to look at is child abuse. Within that area, there are a lot of abused children, and I'm talking about sexually abused children. I would not be able to call no name, but I could tell you, there are a lot. And if you go to the schools in these areas, the teachers will be able to provide you with a lot of information. And for some reason, I don't know why people within the district is not coming out and reporting this, but the teachers are the ones picking it up. And yet for all, people are still afraid to really come out and it's something we should look at, because I had a meeting with officer who is on retirement now, Officer Bhoe, who is doing a lot of work in terms of that children abuse, and I would like to see if we could go around and see if we could get something done about that. And the last point is public relations. Commissioner, to be honest, I know you're trying to change the face of how police officers interact with the population. I had a lot of interaction with police officers in police station. At that time, a police officer told me, get out the so-and-so police station. And this is the sort of thing. Last year, a police officer stopped me for a ticket for speeding. You know the policeman will tell me after he gave me the ticket? Go and kill your so-and-so, sir. Those are the reactions that you get from police officers. And this is the reason a lot of people are afraid to go to police station because of the reactions of police officers. I know sometimes people get frustrated. In terms of crime, I know what crime is because my sister was murdered. So I know what crime is, and I know the feelings of that is. And when you go to a police station and police have to react in that way, and I can tell you, look, just last week, I watching two young police officers, younger than my son, and the reaction they give to me come to stop me to a routine search for a driving permit and insurance to produce. And the reaction is, and what I will tell you is, every action bring a reaction. And these are the sort of things which I know you're trying, but to be honest, I really see you getting over that in a while. I really don't see. And this is the thing we need to address. Thank you very much.
Okay. And again, the comments that you made, 7,000 police officers. I know a police officer who cursed this fellow so-and-so, so his whole police service plastered because of that. You go to a police station, one police officer had a bad day and abused him, the whole police service is that. We can't be doing that. So because you have a situation of in the last 6 months, let me tell you, you've been seeing it. People are now being stopped. More people are being stopped now and being rewarded by the police for the performance of their duties. But you didn't think about that. You're thinking more about, I remember the police officer in 1963 when he did me so and so, and now because of that, I can't change for what happened in the past. What is happening is what we can do in the future. Did you, with the 2 police officers recently, whatever, did you report it to the police complaint authority? Well, there's a point. So it's easy for us to sit down, complain, criticize, and now we're not acting. I am putting systems to ensure there's a degree of accountability and there are consequences. So to sit back and complain and talk the police, because I remember in 1833, I remember a police officer did me something. And you're going to hold on to that to say, well, because of that. So if somebody does something wrong in this country, it means the whole country is that. We find a way, we love to, and that's this thing called social media. It is an avenue to criticize, to condemn, to talk, to ridicule, to undermine. Let's just change any country. I am not saying that we are perfect, but let us look at positives. Let us move positive, and that is the domino effect. To always speak about the things that happened in the past. We are here to deal with what can happen in the future. So to have the negativity to say that it can be done, well, I can give you assurance, because 80% of the population, we have stated that majority of people are seeing police officers operating in a much more professional manner than they had before. It is not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get 100 homicides per annum as the last time we had in 1999. That is not going to happen overnight. The transformation of the police service is not going to happen overnight. The transformation of the culture of our own society of only negativity and seeing the glass half empty, that is not going to change overnight. My job as the Commissioner of Police is to transform not just the law enforcement, but to assist in the whole country's development. And we can't be developing a country by just criticizing, ridiculing, condemning. What we should be doing is finding avenues to ensure that we can solve the problem. And the solving of the problem, I give you the assurance, you have those concerns, you WhatsApp me. Again, Brasso Seco, drugs everywhere. So here what, I will lock up everybody in Brasso because of what you said. It can't work that way. The blanket statement, they have drugs in Brasso. What am I supposed to do with that? But the thing is, if you tell me, I know Mr. A or Mr. B at this place at this time, but nobody is telling me that, you know, including the little child that you claim that the little child who knows about where the drugs are being sold. You have the information, it is here, you have the opportunity now. You just say the Brasso drugs everywhere. Give me a name, give me a place. And if you give me that, you have my assurance, I will do what is required. Because what I am doing is trying to get the public now to work with us. The ultimate avenue towards reducing crime is the public. Because there's no such thing as a perfect crime. Everybody must know something after crime is committed. People are just reluctant because of fear of reprisal. You have an opportunity now, directly with the Commissioner of Police. And I promise you that I will not do anything that is going to cover up any wrongdoing in this country, especially the police service. It is not perfect. There would be persons that would continue to, but again, with that arrogance, I intend to change it. But I can only change it if you report it. The more you report it, every time I have any report of a police officer, you would have recalled a couple of weeks ago when there was a fete in Chaguaramas. Police officers were actually escorting persons out of the fete, beating the traffic. I stopped everyone and they're on report. And that's what I'm doing. No police officer must abuse the equipment, their uniform, their vehicles, or their position. And that's what I'm doing, but I need your help. Report it to me. If it is police officers are aware that if it is that they are involved in wrongdoing, there's a good possibility that person is going to WhatsApp 482-4279, number constable so-and-so just did this. He's aware that he will get a call from me and I will see him in the morning. That means that the officers will now realize that there are consequences. It is not a case that you will report it to the PCA, PCA will send it to the police and nothing will happen. That was old-time policing. Now, there are consequences. By there being consequences, it means that the officers will now be accountable. By them being accountable, it is going to greatly reduce those possibilities from existing. I'm not going to say it will never happen, but I promise you that if any officer is involved in wrongdoing, we will deal with it. However, in the same manner, let us not try to ridicule and condemn the whole police service because of the activities of a few.
Thank you very much. The Commissioner of Police told us that he will stay with us until 5 o'clock, and it's after 5 now. And he came before 5, and he engaged some of you. I think we've got to honor his time. He has other things to do, and give him the opportunity to go. What I would like to say, besides saying thanks to him, is that I think you did well today from the honesty and openness with which you asked your question and the lack of fear with which you asked your question. It tells me two things. One is we have been successful in creating the conditions in Caroni Central where we have a real democracy here. Because people are not afraid to speak in my constituency in any of the meetings that we go to. That's the first thing. The second thing, it means you have trust in the commissioner. It means if you feel that you can say something to him and that he will take you seriously. I think that is a big thing. I think that is a very big thing. All right? And we must basically, we must acknowledge that as something that has gotten better in the society. So in closing, I just want to thank the Commissioner for being here. We have a number of problems. I won't give you all, I just mentioned them. Which is that the main problems in these areas are robberies and home invasion. The second issue is the drug dens which do exist and which we have facilitated the police with before, but there have not been any solutions. The third issue is because it's an agricultural area, you have two things, prior larceny and also land grabbing, where people occupy other people's property and refuse to go on the form of violence. And there are no new laws that we passed to deal with that. And the final thing is that we have sometimes unresponsive police in terms of citizen complaints, but we also know that you have under-resourced police stations. So what I will do, Commissioner, if it's okay with you, I'll write you a note on some of these things so that it is there for you in writing, and you can then decide how you want to proceed on those things. On the vendor matter, I would like to have a solution, and if you would facilitate that, I'd be grateful. And I want to thank all of you for coming. I know some of you wanted to ask questions, and you didn't get a chance to ask. But not everything is possible at all times. And if there are issues that you want to raise, you know, I'm here every Tuesday. You can come to me. I take everything that you come to me with seriously, and I follow up on everything you ask me to do seriously, as long as it is within my jurisdiction and authority or ability to pursue. Okay? So thank you very much for coming. Thanks a lot.